In today's video I'm going to show you the pedals that I use day in, day out here at the studio. Okay, these are the pedals that I'm using day in, day out. I sit myself down in the chair right here, and this is my sort of cockpit. And as you can see, I've got things kind of arranged in this sort of semicircle roughly. At the moment I tend to be playing this Player Plus telly all the time. I absolutely love it. I'm testing out this Legato wireless guitar system at the moment. I've always used wires and been, kind of a dinosaur, but these so far, I've got to say, they're pretty good. I'm very impressed with them. Starting off, for me, I have used the Boss TU2 Chromatic tuner for years. This has been all over the world with me, this thing. It's built like a tank, and it tunes your guitar really bright. You can see it on the stage lights, in the darkness. It's just, yeah, I just think it's like a bomb-proof gig tuner. Next up is the CS3 compression pedal. Now this pedal here, for years I didn't use a compression pedal, but I've got to say it's very quickly become an essential pedal for me. I really like the extra sustain that you can get from using the compression pedal, and I think if you're primarily a rhythm player, I don't know that you really need a compression pedal, but I think if you're playing lead, I think you have to have a compression pedal. It just tightens everything up. It makes your signal stronger, and it makes your tone, I think it just gives you so many extra tonal options. I think you have to have one. So as far as this pedal is concerned, I absolutely love it. This pedal is a different story. Now, I really like the sound of fuzz pedals, but I've got to say I'm not a big fan of the Big Muff. I've had this pedal on and off. I've had a couple of different versions of this over the years, and I keep trying to like it, but I never really come around to it. It just seems to dominate. No matter what I do, it doesn't play nicely with the other pedals that I have here. So it's a kind of a niche thing, really. This particular pedal is it's hanging by a thread here in my sort of go-to pedal chain. So yeah, I'm not a big fan. If anybody knows how to, like, someone tell me how to use a fuzz pedal. In the comments, somebody please tell me how to make a fuzz pedal sound good and play nicely with all of the other things. Because I hear some amazing overdriven fuzzy tones, and I can never seem to replicate them, which is like super annoying. Okay, next up here is the GE7 Boss EQ. I mainly use this as a boost pedal, really, if I'm being honest, but I do like the idea that I can shape the tone. Sometimes if I'm just sort of hot swapping between different guitars, then sometimes it's just easier if I just need a lift on the high end. It's just easier to just whack the pedal on rather than faff about, changing my amp settings. So I like having that option there. What I find is that if I switch from a single coil guitar to a humbucker, sometimes things can get a little bit muddy, and the fastest solution sometimes is just to boost the high end a little bit, and then all of my other tones don't have to be manually adjusted. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of Boss pedals here, and the reason for that is I just think they're great. They last for years. They're really good at what they do, and yeah, I think that's the main thing, isn't it? They last. So you buy them. They're kind of expensive, really, but you buy them and they last. So next up is the BD2 Blues Driver. I love this pedal. When I play my Gibson 335 through my AC15 with this pedal, everything just comes to life, and if I want to get those kind of, I don't know, sort of Clapton-y tones, I love this, absolutely love this. It's less harsh than the sort of Distortion pedal. There's more warmth to it, which I really like, and like I say, with those voxy tones, it just sounds great. Okay, super quick, I always forget to say this. If you enjoy what we do here, head over to the website nationalguitaracademy.com. There's hundreds of free guitar lessons on there, videos, song sheets, song tutorials, chord tutorials, everything you could possibly want to become a better guitarist. Head over there and check it out, nationalguitaracademy.com. Okay, next up there's this kind of weird pedal. This is a Strymon Deco, which is a tape saturation and double tracker. Now, on quite a few of the Strymon pedals, they kind of combine two different effects that play nicely together. So sort of I really like the layout of these pedals. So the tape saturation is on the left-hand side, the Doubletracker is on the right. Now the Doubletracker, you can get some really unusual tones from this, but the Doubletracker aspect of it, I don't really use. I know you can get some really incredible tones from this pedal, but I mainly just use the tape saturation, which just warms up the signal, makes it break up very, very gently. And I tend to use the tape saturation in conjunction with the blues driver, or sometimes one or the other, to just shape the tone. I like this pedal, but I feel like I haven't really got to fully understand it. You know, there's quite a lot going on with that pedal. Now this one I absolutely adore, the Strymon Flint. This guitar is, this pedal gives you a combination of tremolo on the left hand side and then the reverb on the right, and I think they're just two effects that go together really nicely, don't they? Tremolo and reverb. And you can choose the types of reverb that you want here and the type of tremolo that you want over here. What I love about this is it's just like an atmosphere pedal. Anytime you want more atmosphere, you just turn that pedal on. It gives you some big moody soundscapes. You know, you play some minor arpeggios through this and you know, you're transported somewhere else. Very, very cool. That's one of my favorite pedals. Next up, I've got this Donner Yellow Fall delay pedal. Very simple, easy, basic delay pedal, which Donner actually sent us to try out, and I'm delighted that they did. Very happy with this pedal. I'm not a big delay guy, but I've got to say this pedal is great, and I certainly think if you don't use delay that much, I think this one is a really good one to get. This Donner pedal here is a noise gate. It's called a Noise Killer. I've had this for a couple of years. I like it. It does the job. It doesn't sound too artificial or weird, and because we have some really annoying electrical issues here where we get lots of ground hum and interference on the line, the noise gate just silences those. It just silences those sounds, tidies things up. And at the end of the chain here, I've got the RC1 loop station, which is just a looper that I use for building up grooves. You know, basically putting down some chords that I can play some lead over. It's really handy for just doing examples, basically. Now, if I zoom out, there's a couple of other pedals I want to mention. First of all, the Boss DS1 is just a classic distortion pedal. I actually had one of these years ago, but I don't know what happened to it. It just vanished somewhere along the line. So I recently rebought it, and I'm relearning why I love this pedal so much. Very cool. Now, less cool is this thing here, which is a DigiTech. I think it's called a DigiTech Trio, but essentially what this is meant to be is like a band in a box, is the way they sort of market it. So you can play some chords into it, and then it will automatically create drum beats, and then you can choose what genre you want the drum beats to be and what style you want them to be. And also it will create a bass line that follows along with what you play. Now, it sounds great, but the only problem is it doesn't actually work. So I can't get this thing to work no matter what I do. So I don't use it at all for bass lines now. I just grab the bass guitar and then put something into the looper, and then that gives me the bass lines that I want. But I do use this for very, very basic, dry, kind of nasty sounding drum beats. I think probably the solution would be I need to add some reverb to the drums that are coming out of here, because it sounds very, very basic at the moment. If anybody knows how to make this work, please let me know. Maybe I'm not using it the right way. I can see there's a lot of potential to it, but it's just kind of complicated, and yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, man. And then lastly, if I swing back over here, I have to give an honorable mention. In fact, it's more than an honorable mention. I have to give this pedal a big shout out. It's not really a pedal, this is an amp simulator, the Strymon Iridium, and oh my god, I just love this thing. You can switch between kind of 3 different amp settings here. I think it's like one is meant to be like an AC30, another is like a Fender Twin, and the other one I think is just like a Marshall Plexi sound. And then you can choose between 3 different cabs. and everything else is pretty self-explanatory on there. But basically what this does is it replaces your amps. Now I'm not selling any of my amps anytime soon, but I really admire what Strymon have made here. It's a great way to record guitars with a really clean signal without having to faff about with mics, and it just gives you a really powerful line signal that records very cleanly. So there you go, they're the pedals that I'm using day in, day out. I've tried lots and lots of pedals over the years. These are the ones I've kind of settled on. A lot of Boss pedals there, but also increasingly I think I'm becoming like a Strymon guy. Their stuff is really expensive, but like wow, it's really high quality. And the 3 Strymon pedals that I've got, I think they're pretty sick. I really like them, especially the Flint and the Iridium. They are 2 incredible pedals. I hope you've enjoyed having a little peek behind the scenes here at the studio. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.